black-owned shoe store. Culture. My culture, though. Let's see what they talking about in here. What's up, little dog? You good? Y'all got something in here for me? I'm talking about exclusive. They got all the dunks? How many dunks they got? Something like these. Y'all got a little vibe in here. They buying shoes, selling shoes, it feels like the culture. They dunking on people. Oh, they doing TikTok. They looking out for the kids. Oh, man, this is great, man. They got all the races working here. It just really feels like culture. Looking for a black-owned shoe store to get some real drip at? Come up here to Culture Detroit, man. That's what the streets been missing. Welcome home, fam.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the King and Do Show. Thank y'all for showing up and showing out per usual. We are going to cover quite a bit tonight with regards to Summer League. I know everybody's hyped about Summer League. King's going to be joining us shortly, but I'm going to get everything off to a good start for everybody while we get going with this. I want to know what you guys' thoughts is too, with regard to not just tonight's game, but just in general when it comes to Summer League, as far as the guys that we have on this roster that we're looking at, as far as what we're looking at, as far as who may actually stick to this roster, going forward outside of just Summer League. I think a couple guys, as you guys probably think, are going to have a chance to really be rotational guys on this team. So a few things I want to get to. First of all, we want to thank everybody for showing up. Per usual, we appreciate you guys' support. You guys just continue to show up and show out, and our fans are really growing. The support is really growing. So we thank you guys for that. Also, just want to get into a few of these guys here. I see some of these stats or some of these comments here that you guys have, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. What's going on? What's going on, Marvin? Quan? Yeah, appreciate y'all, man, for sure. Yeah, so let's just get it popping, man. Let's start with the guy that I want to talk about first, Ron Holland. Right, so we know Ron Holland missed last game. He did play the first game. I think he had about 15.7 boards, something like that. And he played again tonight. And I thought he looked pretty solid tonight. I think with Ron, we've kind of seen what we can expect to see from him, right? Somebody who can do a lot of different things for you in the basketball court on both sides. Can stuff a stat sheet, right? He's very, very raw right now, as we can all tell. But you can see what he can eventually become if he continues to work this game. Not much of a creator, right? Offensively, his ball handling needs some work. He often gets caught picking up the ball when he gets cut off. When he tries to drive, or his driving lane gets cut off, and he sees help defense coming his way. He picks the ball up and he's looking around. So he's got to work on his vision a little bit. He's got to work on his ball handling a little bit. But that's not really a major thing right now, because a lot of his scoring opportunities, most of his scoring opportunities, in my opinion, are going to come from turning defense into offense, right? Getting out on the break for easy buckets like he did tonight. He's great at doing that. And we saw most of his points came from that. He wasn't in the half court. He wasn't in the break, off turnover and things like that. And he's really, really good on the break in the open court. So I also think that moving without the ball for him is going to be another area where he can really grow too. Cutting, backdoor, things like that is going to be something he can really do effectively, especially since we'll have more spacing on the floor. And it was cool to see too, Kate talking about him yesterday with regard to what he thinks of his game. He talked about a few things, how he thinks that he can help the team and things like that. But Kate actually spoke pretty glowingly of him with regard to that. And I thought that was pretty cool to see as well. Just that they already kind of are developing some chemistry there. Here's a picture right here. He said, "I think he can be a big time player. He's going to be able to help us." So I'm looking forward to seeing that dynamic too, as far as how they look at some point, if they're able to get in the court together, to see how their games translate. A lot of y'all talking about Holland. Yeah, he's wild, man. He's it was cool to see him too, to see him and Midas going at it tonight. I know a lot of people had a lot of different opinions about who we should have taken in the draft. Me being one of those guys, Midas was high on my board too. After Connect, it was Midas for me. And so it was cool to see those two guys, those former teammates, kind of going at it a little bit. It looked like they really wanted to get the upper hand on each other all night long, right? Whenever you see Midas go and get a dunk, you see Ron try to come on the other end and get a dunk, and vice versa, right? It was pretty cool. It was cool to see it. I do think at this stage, I do think Midas is a little bit ahead of Ron as far as their game at the NBA level. He just seems to have more of a feel, and he seems to have a little bit more versatility And I think his ball handling is probably the biggest difference between the two of them right now. They're both superior athletes, both great in the great or on the break. Modest is a pretty decent shooter, better shooter than Ron right now. But I think they both have potential to have very, very long and effective careers going forward. So it was cool to see that from Ron. Getting to the next guy, I think this is who everybody's high on. This is who I am very, very high on. Bobby Clement. I call it Bobby's World. Is my nickname I'm giving him. It's Bobby's World. But Bobby looked great, man. He's looked great throughout all of summer league. It's still crazy that he went so low in this draft. But I think he's going to be a diamond in the rough for this team, man. He does so many things, and he's showing more and more. I want to say this first about Bobby. It was only a week ago that there were some fans that I saw who were saying that nepotism was involved when it came to him because his agent is Michael Tellum, right? That's Aaron Tellum's son. But honestly, I don't care. I could care less. Like, can he hoop? Can he hoop? He's been one of the best players in summer league. I think we can all agree on that. He's got a bright future in the NBA. So whether it was nepotism or whether it was by chance, is he deserving or not? I think he's deserving. I think he's more than deserving, and he's showing it on the court. He's getting the opportunity that he's earned, and he's showing why he's here. So did anybody see that no-look dime he had tonight to you? I forgot who it was. It was a backdoor cut. He had a no-look pass that was beautiful. He's showing more and more of his game. I didn't know he had that in his bag as far as the vision. I didn't know he had that. I didn't know he had much ball handling ability either. I know that he was great off the catch. Right. He's a great standstill shooter. He's showing that he's a better defender than I thought too. But even his ball handling, he's showing a lot of things to his game. I think he's just kind of getting a feel for what his role is going to be here in summer league, and then he's just kind of finding getting in where he fits in, seeing where the weaknesses are that he can kind of plug and play offensively with the ball. And I think tonight we saw a lot of that. You saw a lot more of him pushing the ball in transition, and just looking to get more guys involved, which was something we hadn't quite seen from Bobby up to this point. I hadn't seen it, even on this film. I hadn't really seen it. He played overseas. So yeah, man, he's going to be nice. He's going to be really, really, really good player. He's not going to be a star, I don't think, but he's going to be a very solid player because he knows the game. He plays the game the right way, right? He makes the right pass. The ball doesn't stick with him. He doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't try to do too much outside of his scope. You know what I mean? He looks really really comfortable. And that's great to see from a rookie coming in so early. So I think that's going to help him a lot. I mean, Bobby's going to be nice, man. He's going to be good. Okay. Another thing, too, I want to talk about with Bobby is that I'm really impressed with his ability to be effective without needing the ball. You know what I mean? Like in Summer League, a lot of guys are looking at this as an audition to earn a contract, right? And so that can make it hard for guys who don't dominate the ball. A guy like Bobby, to be effective, it's hard to be effective if your guards aren't looking for you. We've seen that. I think last game it was a few times he was open for alley-oops or easy buckets, and they kind of got looked off. He kind of got looked off. So it can be hard for a guy who doesn't dominate the basketball in summer league, especially if the guys you're playing with, like your point guard or your shooting guard, are selfishly trying to make a name for themselves. But it's encouraging to see him still finding ways to be effective, though. He came into tonight's game averaging, I think it was 15 points and 7 boards and 4 assists, I think, on 52%, but 46% from three. So it's summer league, right? I get it. It's just summer league, but I'm looking at his efficiency. I think tonight he only had about 5 points on 6 shots or something like that, 7 shots, something like that. So even though he didn't score a lot of points, he did a lot of little things that don't show up on the stat sheet. He didn't force anything, right? When I see that he has a game like he had last game where he's got, quite a few points, and then tonight where he's only got 5 points on 6 or 7 shots, that's telling me he's not forcing anything. He's just taking what the offense is giving him or the defense is giving him night to night, right? Last game, he probably had a lot more opportunities. And then tonight, the scouting report was probably that he's one of the guys. So I think he may have just been taking what was there. So just his ability to be able to process that, understand that mid-game, and be able to find other ways to be effective is another reason that I like his game. He's going to be nice. Let's go to... By the way, I'm watching these comments too. I'm on double duty. I'm watching these comments too. Just trying to see what you guys talking about. Yeah, he looked really comfortable. Right. He looked very, very comfortable, man. He looked as if he wasn't pressing. He looked like he had been here before. Better rebounder. That's another thing. Yeah, he's a great rebounder. He's a good rebounder for his size. Right. I think he's about 6'10". His wingspan, I think, is 6'11". So yeah, he's got nice size to him. Over the head. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. I think that was when I was mentioning is the over the head pass. That was nice, man. We're gonna get to Jenkins because that's another standout. Let's get to him now. Why not? And it's Dennis Jenkins. Dennis Jenkins, right? First of all, I want to shout somebody out. Somebody last stream said that when we were talking about guys that we were looking for with regard to the summer league. I caught it at the very end of our stream when it was over, but I was reading the comments, and it was somebody in the comments who kept saying Dennis Jenkins, Dennis Jenkins, Dennis Jenkins, capital letters, like talk about Dennis Jenkins, and I don't know how we didn't see it, but yeah, whoever that was, let me know in the comments if that was you, because I want to shout you out for that because you mentioned this I think about a week ago when it came to Dennis Jenkins. So he's very, very, very impressive, man. A lot of people were asking for a backup point guard, right? Tyler Ennis. Do you guys think that he can be that guy? I'm not really sure if he's a true point, but I feel like he's more of a point than Marcus Sasser is right now, right? So I think that he may have to be given another look to see if he can do that. He has a lot to offer to a team that has shooters like we do. And, I'm just looking at how he plays, right? He can kind of play pretty much any way, which is, I like, he can push the ball. He can play in the half court. He's active and a willing defender. He makes the right rotations defensively too. I was watching him. He plays good team defense. It's summer league, I get it, but I'm just looking at him more than I am his competition right now. It looks like he easily is the best player on the floor a lot of time when he's been out there along with Bobby. But it's funny because like when I watch him, I kind of see, don't take this the wrong way, but I kind of see flashes of Ja to his game. He's not Ja at all, but I'm saying you can tell he watches Ja Morant. Like his gather dribble before making his move, that little gather he does, his finishes around the rim. I think last game he had a crazy acrobatic left-handed scoop, right, that they called a travel, which wasn't a travel. But just the way he plays the game, his fearlessness around the basket, and he can shoot the ball pretty well too. I got to give him credit for that. I think he came into tonight, I think he was shooting 48% from the field and 42% from three. So once again, it's summer league, right? I understand that, but I'm looking at the efficiency once again. I'm looking at him more so than I'm looking at his competition. I'm looking at how he plays the game, and he plays the game pretty well, pretty fluidly. So I think he came into tonight averaging 18 points, 4.5 assists. What is it? 2 rebounds, 2 assists, or 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 1.5 blocks, and 2 turnovers. So that's solid, man. Very, very solid. I think those are the two guys that are going to come into the season solidified from Summer League as far as having a rotational spot. I think those are the two guys that we can really say he's going to be on this roster. I think those are the two guys who should be. In KDA, I'm with you on that 100%. He's very much under control. I think both of you guys are saying the same thing. He controls tempo well. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. And he tries to always make the right decision. He tries to just process based on what the defense is giving him and then make the right decision, which is like what I want to see. Daryl said he reminds me of Jamal Crawford. I see a little bit. I see a little bit of that. I think he's much more looking to get others involved though than Jamal Crawford. I understand what you're saying offensively as far as being able to get a bucket, which he can. I don't think his bag is nearly as deep as Jamal's, but I kind of see what you mean. But I just like his ability to be able to play, to run the point too, and to be able to get other guys. He had a couple of nice passes, man, that you could see he saw the pass before he even made it. He was just ready to make the next pass, so it's cool to see that he is always looking to play team basketball and looking to get guys involved and not just looking for his own buckets, not just looking for his own. And that's one thing that he talked about, Shannon, is that I think he mentioned post-game, last game, that he's just glad the Pistons gave him an opportunity. And sometimes that's all you really need. It's just the opportunity to be able to show what you can do. And he's really doing that. And I'm really looking to see what he does in the coming games. I believe that next game the Pistons play is it until Friday? Yeah, Friday. They play again Friday against the Knicks. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Pistons have a shot to win this tournament. I really do. They're 2-1 right now. And I'm just looking at the guys they have on this team. I think if they continue to play this way, I think Bobby can be one of the best players in this whole tournament. You know, and I think Highland's going to continue to get better as he continues to play, as he continues to get more reps. I think he's going to continue to get better and get more comfortable and figure out what his role is going to be, at least for this team. I do see that. I do see a lot of Jordan Bone in him for sure. And it's not just the hairstyle either. I think their builds are similar. Yeah, I see a lot of him. But I really do think that the Pistons have a shot to win this tournament, man. I'm just looking at how they played so far. And they're continuing to get more and more familiar with each other game over game, which is what I like to see as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Do the Pistons have a shot to win this tournament? Moving to the next guy I wanted to get to here, Marcus Sasser. So everybody, let me know how you guys are feeling about Marcus Sasser so far this summer league. This is the second summer league, the second go around. How are you guys feeling about him so far? Do you feel like he is pretty much where he should be? Do you feel like he should be ahead of where he is going into year 2, going into his second summer league? He had a really good game tonight offensively for his team. The last few games the first 2 games he didn't play that great. But what did he have tonight? What did he finish with? Okay, so he finished with 17 points, 3 assists, 5 steals, 4 turnovers. He shot 5 for 13, 38% from the field, 3 for 5 from 3-point, 4 for 6 from the line in 30 minutes. So he had his best game by far of summer league so far. I think that was for sure. He had a slow start, but he really began to pick it up late. And the thing that I think more than anything was just his willingness to stick with it. Right, he got off to a rough start, had some bad turnovers early, missed some defensive assignments, took some bad shots, but he kind of settled in. He settled down a little bit and kind of got going offensively. Hit some nice threes, made some nice passes too. Made some nice passes to some cutters that I saw late in the game as well. So, it's been up and down for Sass. I don't really know how much of a role he's going to have on this team this year. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not really sure. It has nothing to do with his ability or his talent. I just think we have a logjam in the backcourt. I think Sasser is very, very talented, man. I just don't see a role. I don't see where you can find a role for him right now. Our biggest need that we keep talking about for this team right now is a backup or a third point guard. And I think Jenkins can kind of fill that role a little bit better than Sasser from what we've seen in summer league so far. I'm more comfortable with the ball in Jenkins' hands than I am with it in Sasser's hands. And that's not a knock on Sasser. I just think Jenkins plays better with the other guys on the floor. I think he's looking more so to get guys involved than a Marcus Sasser. And that may mean that Sasser has more offensive ability. But I think at that point guard spot, that backup role, you're looking for guys who can get the ball to everybody else, more so than a guy who can come in and score. So we know Sasser's a bucket getter, right? But he's not really great at getting others into the flow of that offense. You know what I mean? Like with shooters, like I mentioned, with the shooters we have on his team, like a Malik Beasley, like a Tim Hardaway, and maybe if Fontecchio off the bench who's going to be there, you need somebody who's going to come in and facilitate to those open shooters. And I think Jenkins fits into that role better than Sasser does right now. And I think Jenkins, while he does that, he also is a threat offensively. It's not that he's the opposite of Sasser, where he's only looking to get guys involved and he can't score, right? It's more so that he can do both collectively a little bit better, in my opinion. And when you think about this too, Jenkins is bigger. He's a bigger guard, right? I think Sasser is like 6'1", 6'2", with shoes on maybe. Jenkins is listed at 6'4". So even defensively, he gives you more size there too. So Daryl said he's not worried about Sasser. How much of a role do you think he's going to have? Daryl, let me know what you think. Cartier Jenkins, yeah, he's right. And that's another thing too that I think may give him the edge over Sass, is that he plays really good defense, man. Really, really good defense. He is aggressive, but the thing is, like, he's aggressive to get whoever is open the ball. He's trying to find the best shot possible. He doesn't have that score first mentality. He has a great balance, I believe, of what a point guard should be as far as getting the other guys involved and also keeping the defense honest by looking for your own if they're going to give it to you. They do, David. I agree. They get out the slow starts. Oh, whatever, man. Whatever. I'm not thinking about you, bro. Whatever. Yes, he's a true point guard. I feel like he's a true point. Would you guys? How comfortable are you guys having Jenkins as the backup point guard? I know a lot of guys are mentioning Tyler Ennis, right? But how do you guys feel about him in this role? He'd be a lot cheaper. I keep hearing a lot about Ennis and how he's looking for a starter quality contract, and we don't have that to offer right now. No, but I want to give that to him anyway. But that's kind of what he's looking for. So let me know your thoughts. I haven't seen enough yet of Moore. I liked him in college, but I got to see more of him. To me, he doesn't really stand out. Like I was watching, it seems like he's just trying not to step on toes when I watch him play. I need to see more of him. I'm gonna do more research on his college tape too. I did watch him in college, but I kind of want to see if he's doing the same thing now in summer league, if he's just being passive right now. Just trying to see what's going on with that. But I'm not really sure about him. What are your thoughts on him? Did you watch him in college a lot? Are you happy with what you've seen so far? You think it's translating? What do you think, Tony? Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm with you on this, Nikki. I think he should be given that nod for sure. And that was what I was saying as far as with Sasser. I just don't see how what role he would play based on what we need right now. Let's see. I'd like to see Sasser come off the bench and play with Cade and Ivy. So here's the thing. If he's coming off the bench, he's probably not going to play with Cade and Ivy. He's probably going to play with one of the two because those guys' minutes are probably going to be staggered based on how I'm thinking about it. I think when Cade goes to the bench, when the game starts, and Cade, Ivy start, in my opinion, Cade goes to the bench, Ivy moves to the one, and now you have a shooting guard slot open. So if you put Sasser there, that means you're not putting Tim Hardaway Jr. there or Malik Beasley there, which I think is a mistake. So that's with that being kind of how it's projected to look. I don't see how you have a role for him unless you have foul trouble. You know what I'm saying? And you think about Tim Hardaway Jr. and you think about Malik Beasley, those guys are strictly shooting guards. So I don't know how I feel about Sasser coming into the game with those guys. I would rather have a guy like Dennis Jenkins, who is showing me already that he can find guys and facilitate the ball and get the ball to guys in spots where they like it. And that's why I would like him more so than I would like a Marcus Sasser. So it's based more so just on fit than it is ability. But that's not knocking Jenkins' ability because he has a lot of it for sure. Yeah, man, it was something seeing. I watched that too. When I watched, because everybody's talking about Reed Shepard. Reed Shepard is good. He's a good player. You know, Austin Reeves 2.0. You know, Jenkins wasn't going for it, bro. He's a physical defender too. He defends without fouling. He's really good, man. I think we've got a couple guys in this roster who are really going to make an impact going forward. Let's see, Elton. I'll take Jenkins at this point. It appears he knows his role. Sass doesn't. He looks lost out there. Right. It's right. I think it just goes back to what we're saying. It feels like Jenkins knows his role because he's better at that role. I think he's better at the role that we need him to play than Sasser is. I think if we didn't have a Jaden Ivey, then maybe it's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? But it's tough because he doesn't feel that need of facilitating that we need. He just feels the need of getting a bucket. But we've got guys who can get buckets already. I think Jenkins should start in the G League. Him, Moore, and Clinton should start in the G League, get reps, and come in after the trade deadline. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Yeah, get them some reps. I will only do that if you feel there is no role for them out the gate, right? I'm going to tell you, man, Clinton and Jenkins, I'm not mad at you for saying let's wait until after the deadline, but to me, it's not out of the possibility that they earn a role pretty early. We have a really young team, man. A lot of roles are going to be defined early. You know what I mean? And one thing that JB Bickerstaff said is that he's not giving any roles away. So if you got a guy like a Clinton or a guy like a Dennis Jenkins who can kind of pick up where they left off, take this momentum from Summer League into the regular season, and they're showing early on that they can kind of do this thing, and they got a quick learning curve, and they're not hurting the team, and they're making plays, and they're just playing within the role of the offense. Like I could see one of those two guys pushing for a rotational spot. Maybe not by the deadline, but maybe. I could see it. Like I could see a guy like Clinton getting involved now. Just the way he plays the game. I could see him kind of playing that Tobias Harris light type of game, right? Not offensive punch like Tobias has, not the skill set yet. He's young, but that's kind of what I see for him. And I would not be surprised if these guys earn some roles early and we have some surprises as far as the rotation. Mega Hustle, what's good, bro? Sasser got some key steals and hit a big three. Yeah, he did. He played much, much better offensively tonight. It seemed like he had a chip on his shoulder, like he was kind of getting looked over, and he came out and did his thing tonight. I was happy to see that for him. Boban says Sass is a microwave type of. Yeah, he is. He is. He's a Vinny Johnson type, but Vinny Johnson's Vinny Johnson, man. But yeah, that's the kind of player that he is. He comes in and gives you buckets. So I think if you're going to have him play the point, he would need to get more reps and learn more so how to play that position more so. Because even in college, he played shooting guard more so than he played point guard. They would move him to the point, but they would kind of share that responsibility with the other guard. Oh man. Yeah, I'm with you, Tony. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you by next stream. We'll talk more about Wendell Moore for sure. For sure. Bet on that. Let's see. I remember SAS isn't a Landon pick. He might be waived after summer league. I could see it. We gotta wait and see. Cardi said get Klintman in there. Yeah, man. So what about Jenkins? Are you not sure about? What is it that you're seeing from him that's telling you we might need to hold off on him? I definitely think he's in a rotation. Yes, he's going to make them 100%. 100%. Let's see. Klintman is going to be nice. He's going to be real nice, man. He's going to be real nice. I can't wait. I can't wait until training camp. That's like, I've seen enough from Summer League to now look forward to training camp. I'm looking forward to training camp and seeing who these positional battles. I want to see who's going to come out on top of the positional battles, what the rotation is going to look like early on. That's going to be fun to see. That's going to be fun to see. It's been refreshing watching Jenkins play defense after seeing. Yeah, I know. And you know what? I think these guys are going to push each other too. Whenever you have a rookie coming in like that playing defense, that kind of puts everybody else on alert. I ain't gonna let this little rookie outstage me, and everybody else kind of gets involved. And so hopefully that'll push everybody defensively. And that kind of mindset will rub off and be contagious. It's already going to be with coach, but coach is going to highlight those guys who are doing it. So everybody else is going to pay attention to that. So hope it rubs off. Jenkins might not get minutes with Caden Ivey. He might not, but it's always good to have insurance, right? It's always good to have insurance whenever guys get in foul trouble, right? Caden Ivey, we talked about them already. Like the past few seasons, they have to be more disciplined when it comes to fouling. So it's still going to be nice when we have guys getting into foul trouble. Right, K's gonna get in foul trouble. Ivy's gonna get in foul trouble. You're gonna have to alter your rotation and adjust your rotation on the fly, and that'll make room for guys like a Janice Jenkins to be able to play with a Tim Hardaway Jr. or Malik Beasley and get those guys going. Right, so he's definitely needed. It may not be every night, but he's definitely gonna need to be here, or somebody's gonna need to be here for that point guard, the backup point guard, or third point guard spot when you need him for nights like that. Killian better than You know what? He is. Right now, he is. Killian's been in the league he was in the league for 3 or 4 years. But he is. Like, y'all know LeBron's my favorite player of all time. But Killian's better than Bronny. 100%. He should be. Killian went number 7 overall. Bronny went 55th, too. Keep that in mind, too. 25 miles, you fooling for that, bro. Klintman looks like he's ready. Yes, he does. We've been talking about that all night, man. He definitely looks like he's ready to push for a spot, man. Push for a rotational spot. My fear with Klintman is how NBA ready he is. He's a good defender, but when he's going up against bigger forwards, that'll be the true test for me. Yeah, I don't think that's really anything to be fearful of, though, Game Knots. I think it's just something that we need to expect. Because you're right. This is Summer League. We always talk about it. This is Summer League, right? We can't. How many MVPs of Summer Leagues went on to be MVPs in the league? You know what I mean? So you got to take it with a grain of salt. But also just look at things that go outside of just, scoring the basketball. Like I know it's a cliche, but outside of stat sheet, look at how they play the game. Look at their decision making. Look at their fluidity. Looking at their processing speed, right? Defensively, what are they doing? Are they making the right reads? Are they helping the helper? Things like that. That's what I'm looking for during Summer League. And he's been doing a lot of those things. You know what I mean? He knows how to play the game already. And so I hear what you're saying. And I agree, And that's what I think. That's any player though coming into the league. They all got to get bigger. They all got to get stronger. They're all going to get bullied a little bit early on at some point, in that rookie season. But I think he'll get in the weight room. He'll get stronger. He'll get tougher. He'll understand positioning against bigger guys. He'll understand the tricks in the trade, things like that. By the time he's 22, 23, 24, he's going to be, I think, in my opinion, a really, really good player for this team. Hopefully for this team. We got him for 2 years, and hopefully, we're sitting there waiting for him. By the time that 2-year contract is up, we can offer him something long term. For sure. At some point for years are going to get injured. So even if Jenkins is not in the rotation, he might have. Right. Exactly. And that's what I was saying earlier, Tony, is that you always need to have insurance guys. Always got to have those guys available to come in and be able to plug and play and fill that role as if you didn't miss a beat. Right. So that's very, very important to have that guy. And it's very important to have a guy who understands that mindset. And that's kind of why I like Jenkins more so than I would like Ennis, because Ennis has already proven himself to an extent, right, in the NBA as a great backup point guard. So there may be some, he may feel as if he deserves that spot. He may feel as if he deserves a bigger role. He may not be happy with coming in and not playing every night and just having to wait for his number to be called. He may feel as if he should get rotational minutes every single game, but we already have guys for that role. So having a guy like Dennis Jenkins, who's just happy to just have an opportunity, right? That's what I like, because he's going to come in and do whatever he has to do to make sure that he has a role on his team and have a future in the NBA going forward. Just so from this standpoint, that's why I would like a guy like Jenkins, who's worked his way up, and the natural progression for him is to be given a role from playing well in the G League and now moving up into the NBA, having a small role, being able to be a star in that role, and then being able to hopefully progress into something more for his sake. So that's why I like having a guy like him in that kind of role as a backup point guard who may not play every night, because for them it's still a plus based on where he's been at this point. He's just trying to get to the NBA. So that's a win for him. So definitely and happy with what I'm seeing. I mean, y'all are loving Klintman, man. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Exactly. Yeah. We finally have some depth. That's something we have not had for a long time. We've had guys, but we didn't have the right kind of guys, in my opinion. And I think now that we do. Yeah, some of his passes were crazy. Will work well with the vets. Yeah, man, y'all see it. Everybody sees it. Man. He is a much better passer than I think a lot of us thought, myself included. I didn't, in the beginning, like game one, whenever I would see the ball outside of his hands, like when he's trying to put the ball on the floor, I would cringe. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're a standstill shooter. Just do that. But as the games continue to pass, I'm getting more and more comfortable with him, the ball in his hands. Like, okay, yeah, push it. Okay. He's really showing more and more what he's able to do game to game. Appreciate y'all support, man, for sure. 2 to 3 years during the Klintman going to be okay, Maurice. I like that a lot. That might have been the comment of the night. I imagine that inside-outside game, because now you will let JD to continue to just man the paint, be a great defender, help side defender, and post defender, right? Just be a great all-around defender in that paint. Just dominate that paint. Get as close to a Rudy Gobert type of paint defender as you can if you're a Jalen Duren, right? And offensively, just eat off what's available. Like, I don't think Jalen Duren is going to have plays drawn up for him much in his career. He's not going to need to, because he's going to be such a force in the paint, getting offensive rebounds because he's so strong, and catching lobs and that. Like, he's going to be able to eat without trying a lot of time, just because of, I think, the spacing we'll have and the facilitating we'll have with Cade and Jaden Ivey. He's going to be just fine. So having him just man that paint and focus on that is going to be more than, I think, enough for him. And allowing a Klintman to come in and be able to play the other side, you truly have an inside-outside game now, which I think, he made it. He made it. Man, I thought it was going to be me all night. My man made it. What's good, my dog?
Hey, what's going on, man? Sorry I'm late, everybody.
It's all good, man. I was hoping you weren't going to show up. We was kind of getting into a little groove. So, you had to come and mess that all up. But nah, man, yeah. Yeah, we just talked about we talked about a few guys already. We talked about Ron Holland, talked about Bobby a little bit. Not Bobby. I think it is Bobby. Me and you was trying to figure out is it Bobby or Bobby? I think it's Bobby.
Yeah.
And then we talked about Dennis Jenkins a little bit, and then LaMarcus Sasser. So just kind of get in where you fit in. What do you want to talk about? Who stood out to you, not just tonight, but throughout the duration of Summer League? I know you had a couple of videos you dropped already about it, but just kind of give us a little bit of info as far as what you're thinking about these guys.
With Holland, is more about him getting more reps, more opportunity out there on the court. That's where it is right now, him recovering from his thumb injury. But for the overall of the Summer League, I've been the most impressed with Klintman and with Jenkins. Jenkins and Klintman have been the most impressive. Even tonight, if you look at the box scores, I mean, nothing really stands out for Klintman, but if you was watching tonight, he definitely was a contributor out there on that court.
Yep.
So like I said, those are the type of things I'm looking for to add to, what we have here as far as our roster. Those are the things you need for these young guys. If they want to touch the court, that's what they're going to have to understand, how I contribute without stuffing a stat sheet, because that's just not the stage of the career that they're at right now. So you need to be able to be available and be out there on the court and contribute in ways, even uncharacteristic ways possible. So it's for them, they got a long journey ahead of them. But they have opportunity in front of them too. So this growth is definitely important. And Klintman and Jenkins have been the most impressive.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Those have been the standouts that everybody's been talking about. Is Klintman and Jenkins, man. When it comes to Klintman, bro, what you said was what I was kind of hitting on earlier. Yeah, well, I think he had 5 points tonight on 6 or 7 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Last game, I think he had about 18. Mm-hmm. So what I like about him is his ability to be able to process what the defense is doing game to game. It seemed like the first 2 games, it wasn't really known as far as who he was or what he can do. After these last 2 games, he's put up 15 plus, I think, the last 2 games, or 13 plus the last 2 games, and 7 plus rebounds and all that. Now it seems like the scouting report is kind of changing on him. I was watching how they were defending him tonight. It was different than how they were the previous 2 games, right? So he's probably like, okay, they see they're focusing on. They know what's up now. They kind of hip to how I play. So he didn't force it. He didn't continue to try to look for his shot. He did other things. He got other guys. He was having no look passes to cutters on baseline. Like he was finding other ways to be effective, pushing the basketball. So that shows me he understands how to adjust. He understands already the adjustments that need to be made based on what the defense is giving him, and not just saying I'm going to play the same way every game, because that's not the NBA. So that's what I like from him, is just his ability to adapt and process things already without having even played in the NBA yet.
Yeah, man. Like I say, starting with last game versus Houston. In the first half, they tried that. You know what I'm saying? He was
right.
Right away. They was, hey, we realize that this guy, if you watching film, you realize that this guy keep getting open. You know what I'm saying? They're not giving him the ball all the time, but he's open a lot, too much. Last game, they tried that. And, I mean, by the time we got to the third quarter, it was like, okay, you found a break in the defense. You know what I'm saying? Now, Klintman, found that spot where he could be effective. And at that time, shooting. So like I said, tonight, not necessarily in a box score, but just the things that he does on the court. He has some really good IQ for a young person, man. And like I said, he played, with pros. He played with pros over there.
Exactly.
So like I said, I'm really, really, really intrigued watching him play basketball.
Really quickly, I wanted to go back to this. I commented on this right before you hopped on, but I had to bring it back. I call this a comment of the night because I think it's very, very intriguing, and I want to get your thoughts on this. 2 to 3 years, Duren and Klintman going to be the front court in the league. What are your thoughts on this? Is this a possibility that you see?
So when you look at the timeline, absolutely, it's a possibility. Actually, you look at where we just signed Tobias, right? And And, even though we don't want him to, we know he's probably going to end up playing 4. He's going to play the 4. When you look at the timeline, 2-year deal for Tobias, right? But at the same time, if Klintman, it's all in his hands. It's all in his hands. You know what I'm saying? His development, how fast he can catch on to things, how far he can go, it's all up to Klintman. That at this point, Duren is going to be Duren. But it's all up to Klintman. We have to see him out there. We got to see some preseason action against, some guys that actually going to play. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we don't want to read too much into it because it's summer league. So we have to see how he does in that environment. If he can continue to just be a guy to contribute, get open, cut through lanes, knock down a 3 here and there, he can find himself on the basketball court really fast. You know what I'm saying? So,
bro,
it's up to him.
We were just talking about that, bro. I think those 2 guys can push for minutes early. And that may seem like a big jump, and I know it's just summer league, but this is a young team, man. A lot of roles are going to be defined. Nothing is going to be given. We heard what JB said already. He said, guys got to earn their roles. I won't be surprised. I'm not saying anybody's going to start, but I won't be surprised if you see Klintman getting minutes, maybe month or 2 into the season. I could see that. And maybe even a Dennis Jenkins getting minutes if Cade and Jaden get in foul trouble. Yeah, I could kind of see that kind of thing happening. I want to get to this too. Right? Above said that Holland reminds him of Jimmy Butler when he got drafted. And he said his comp for Klintman reminds him a bit of Kuzma. Was definitely smarter than Kuzma at this stage. Kuzma was on Shaqtin' the Fool, seemed like every other night when he first came into the league. So, I don't think you're going to see Klintman on Shaqtin' too often because he doesn't do things outside of his scope that will put him in that kind of situation. But what are your thoughts on that, bro?
One of the first things with Holland is understanding what he needs to work on. Since draft night, you've heard him say exactly what he needs to work on. So understanding that is the first step. Putting in that work and getting better, and working with a shooting coach like we now have with the Pistons, I think it's going to open up some things and some opportunities for him. He's very talented, but he has some work to do. One of them is ball handling. You got to understand how to secure that basketball, not turn the ball over so much. So those trainers got their work cut out. You know what I'm saying? Because these young guys, they're going to need some sharpening. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And as far as his game goes, man, listen, Holland could be very, very talented in this league. He really can. But it's up to his work ethic to work and refine and hone his skills to where he can be out on the basketball court. Yep. Whether you have an IQ or not, whether you're this or that, at the end of the day, if you're not able to knock down jump shots, you won't find yourself on a team very long.
Right.
Y'all know what just happened with one of the young players we drafted. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't knock down shots, you find yourself outside.
Yeah. Look at the guy who just brought in. Yeah. We just brought in spacers, right? So that is a priority for this team. I'm with you as far as with Harlan. I think for him, the biggest thing is just going to be incremental growth season over season. Take one thing and get better at that. Take one thing this offseason, get better at that. Take this next offseason, get better at ball handling. Following offseason, focus on your shooting. Just get increment because he's got the base to have a crazy high ceiling. For him, it's just going to be a matter of perfecting as much as he can or working on and improving as much as he can those weaknesses. So he can really be a dual threat on the floor because nobody's going to guard him right now. And I think he can really kind of be eased along, especially with his ball handling. Because you probably seen that. I mentioned it earlier so many times. Well, not so many times, but whenever he has the ball in his hands, when he puts it on the floor and the driving lane gets cut off or he sees help defense coming, he picks it up and he's sitting at the free throw line and he's just looking to push it back out. And that pretty much just stunts the offense and flow, So he won't be asked to do that with us. But Kay's going to have the ball and Jaden's going to have the ball. He's not going to be asked to create. So I'm not too concerned about his ball handling right now because I'm sure they're going to keep the ball out of his hands unless he's probably on the break or creating his own offense from his defensive plays. You know what I mean? That's going to be his offense. Defensive plays, defense and offense, getting out in the break, catching oops, That's going to be, I think, where he does most of his damage for this team. And I think that's a good role for him coming in as a rookie.
Also learning how to attack. He's known to attack the basket. That's one of his calling cards that, got him drafted.
True.
But in the league, it's a different ball game. And you've seen it in, his first summer league game where he was driving to the lane and guys was, slapping that ball out of his hand before he can bring it up.
Right.
He has to learn how to attack too. Even Jay Knivey had to go through that experience. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, just fine honing things. Those assistants, they'll get them right. They'll get them right. But one thing that can get him on the basketball court right now with the coach that he has and the staff is his defense. Yeah. Now his defense, is something that can get him on the floor at times when they need to throw somebody in there. We still have opportunities on this team, so Sasser's not our backup point guard. Let's get that real. Yeah.
Let's get to that. Because I definitely wanted to get to that because one thing about you that I love about you is just how honest you are. Yeah. And you have been very honest since the moment we drafted him. You don't hate him, nothing like that, but you've been very transparent about how you feel about Sasser and how he fits on this team. So how do you feel about him so far? Like just watching him his second training camp go around, going into his second season. Do you feel he's where he should be? Do you feel he's where you thought he would be? Do you feel he's where he's behind where he should be? What do you think?
With Sasser, first of all, let's establish what type of player he is.
Yeah.
Sasser is a weapon. Right now, they're trying to get him to think the game, as a guard out there, or understanding pace and things like that. You know what I'm saying? How to run that offense. They're trying to get that into him.
Right.
The weapon. I look at him as say for instance, as a superhero, he's a Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? You throw him as a Wolverine and just tear stuff up. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how you use Sasser. It was one, for instance, let's go back. Remember when we were trying to teach Rodney Stuckey how to be a point guard? You know what I'm saying? And it just wasn't working out. I don't think it works for him. He overthinks still. I still seen it on the court. He overthinks at times. When he should take a shot, he don't take it.
Right.
Or if he has an open shot, instead of taking a shot, he's still doing that step back move before he shoot the basketball. That type of stuff.
Yeah.
Bro, give him the ball and let him go get it. That's what we need to be focusing on with Sasser. Consistent jump shot. Go out there and score. He is not a guy that's going to be a natural point guard, a thinking point guard. That's not what he is. He's a weapon.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think we talked about guys who are not going to have a role every night. I think he's going to be one of those guys. I think he's a guy that you bring in when the offense is just stagnant. And you just, when there's a lid on the rim and nobody can get anything to fall, and you need, J.R. Smith, Lou Williams, Jamal Crawford-esque, that to me is Sasser's, not just his game, but his mentality. He's a bucket getter, man. And I think for this team, I don't see how he fits anything that we currently don't have right now. We talked about K when he goes to the bench and moving J.I. possibly to the point guard spot and then having a shooter with him, with Tim Hardaway Jr. or Beasley. Like, I want my backup point, and we people talk about Ennis as far as getting the backup point guard, right? We keep talking about Ennis, Tyler Ennis. And so it's just like, that's the kind of guy I want as my backup point guard, somebody who's looking to get other guys involved. Dennis Jenkins is another guy who I would want to have instead, who's looking to get my other guys involved. So that's really what I'm looking for when it comes to that backup spot. And Sasser doesn't really give you that. So I feel like with Sasser with Tim Hardaway Jr. or Sasser with Beasley, I feel like those guys are not going to be getting open looks because Sasser's not going to be looking to get them the ball. And like the way he likes to run the pick and roll, he just runs the pick and roll to death, bro. Pick and roll to death, pick and roll. Like you said, and it just stagnates the offense. And that's not what I want to see from my backup point guard. So I'm with you. I think it doesn't really have anything to do with ability. I think it's just more so fit. I don't see a role for him consistently unless the offense is just not rolling, and we need to get somebody in there to get the offense rolling.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to create with him during the summer league. is trying to create to where they could be able to use him, in a certain type of role, to where, because like I said, we have the veterans now that we added that can come in and add some fire, right? Do some scoring, right? They're trying to get him to that stage of point guard. And like I said, with me, it's like, man, I can't see him as our backup point guard. Even coach was already talking about staggering Ivy and K in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's already talking like that. I think they realize that he's not a pure point guard, especially for backup. I still think we're going to get a veteran. So, like I said, they're trying to let him develop into that, I guess. We'll see where that goes, but I don't see it. And listen, it's no ill will towards Sasser at all.
At all. And that's what, go ahead.
Hell of a talented scorer. He is.
Yeah.
He's a very talented scorer. He can go off at any minute. We're looking at fit for the roster and what we've acquired on this roster right now. And on top of that, it's not a Trajan Langdon guy. I'm looking at all of these factors.
That's true.
And I'm just being realistic right now. Whether I like him or not, I'm not fanning out right now. I'm being realistic.
Yeah. Right. So let me ask you this. People keep talking about Ennis as that backup point guard. How do you feel about Dennis Jenkins as the backup, or as the backup point guard, or as the third point guard for when there's foul trouble? Because go ahead. Here's my thing. My thing is this: like with Ennis, right? We've already talked about how he is kind of coming in a little bit entitled, where he feels like he is an NBA level starting point guard, but he'll play backup or whatever. So I don't know how he would adjust to not playing every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather have a guy like Dennis Jenkins, who is, as we just heard him say, happy that the Pistons gave him a shot. I want that kind of guy, I think, who's not coming in with any entitlement, who's coming in, he's not looking at this as a downgrade. I ain't playing every night. Okay, like that's what Ennis might be thinking. Like with the guy like Jenkins, he's happy to be in the NBA. He's taking any role that you give him. So that's why I would like, and he's cheaper. And he's 6'4", and he plays great defense. Like, to me, he has everything that I would want. He's hungry. You know what I'm saying? He's hungry. That's why every opportunity he's getting, he's gonna try to make an impact. And so that's why I like that kind of situation as far as our third point guard, because you got the perfect guy with the perfect mentality who's looking to make an impact. What are your thoughts on that?
So here it is.
By the way, I kept saying Ennis. I meant Tyus Jones. My bad. I keep saying Ennis. Tyus Jones is what I've been talking about as far as the back.
Tyus is gone. He's signed somewhere.
Is he? Who picked him up?
I've seen it earlier on Twitter.
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Jenkins.
Talking about, yeah.
Ballers in his court. Again, it's summer league. You know what I'm saying? It's summer league at the end of the day. So, yeah, unless he can have a Moutier type of ordeal, you know what I'm saying, where he's just in the game and you just kind of on the floor, because I mean, a Moutier took it. You know what I'm saying? He earned it. He was out there. He wasn't scared to shoot at nothing. We're talking about a two-way guy here. He has to take it. It's not going to be given to him. He has to take it. So it's up to Jenkins. You know what I'm saying? So, and just, scoring, having some nice scores in the summer league, it's not going to get it. When y'all get in camp, you got to go in there and beat ass. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You have to take it. Some of these guys are ahead of you simply because of the situation when you're a two-way guy. So, it's up to him. Ball is in his court. Yeah, I agree, man. It was fun watching Ron Holland go against Modest tonight. Those two were really going at each other's head, man. It was cool to see. I think when they were on FaceTime or something a couple weeks ago, Ron was telling him he was going to dunk on him, and he didn't dunk on him, but he dunked on one of his teammates. He dunked on one of his teammates, and he had a few dunks tonight. So it was cool to see the two of them. It was also cool to see Tobias there tonight.
Tobias and Cade, they pulled up to Summer League tonight to show support to, to their teammates. And it was cool to see those guys too. Tobias said he really wants to help this team become the best. He said he wants to help everybody reach their ceiling. Every player in this team, he wants to help them reach their full potential, reach their ceiling. So I think he understands the assignment for these 2 seasons. But I want to ask you a question. I want to ask everybody here a question too. Will the Pistons make the playoffs before his contract expires? What do you think? We got it for 2 years for $52 million.
I think they will.
You think they will?
I think they will. I think this season is going to surprise a lot of people, just because of the taste that they got in their mouth off of last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think people truly believe that the Pistons were just that bad, talent-wise. You know what I'm saying?
We're not 2-26 bad. No way.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I think they truly do believe that. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to, surprise some people this year. I'm not saying that they're going to. I think it's going to be a fighting for play-in type of situation. I really do for the Pistons, man. Simply based off of what they've added. I do want to say this though with the Tyus Jones. I see a couple of you guys in there. Some of you guys got it right. The Clippers. The report was that they're trying to get the sign and trade, but they're going to get him.
Okay.
They want him there. So that's done. And Gary Trent is done too. So
he went to Milwaukee, right?
So,
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, just in that situation alone, man, I mean, I think we can definitely this season win 30 plus games. Anywhere in that 30 range, I think we can win this season right away.
Yeah.
Simply because of the coaching staff and the talent that we've acquired.
Yep. I agree. I think it's going to happen next year. I think it's going to happen next season. I think, like you said, we're going to get. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be this season. Like you said, we can surprise a lot of people, 100%. But it's going to be a learning curve too, as far as guys understanding how to play with each other. That's the opposite side of the coin of having new guys in here. Is like people don't know how to scout you because they haven't seen you play, but you also haven't played. So it's going to take some time to. I think I can see them getting off to something of a slow start, and then second half of the season, kind of having a upward trajectory as they start to kind of catch a rhythm and understanding roles and rotations and all that stuff. I can see them getting to 35 games. So I think year 2. I think year 2 is a year. You said what?
There's another layer to that answer for me.
Talk to me.
My projection is based off of right now. You're looking at the roster right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking midway of the season, team might change again. We still got money.
Yeah.
And I think they're holding on to that money for a reason.
We talked about that, remember?
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's where I'm getting that from. You know what I'm saying? The 30-something plus games this season, because I think we're still gonna be active, right? So like I said, it's gonna be interesting this season.
Yeah. We talked about that. What he's referring to, everybody, we talked about that before as far as how much money the Pistons have. I believe they have about 11 million right now. And you need to spend 90% of your cap before the regular season starts. So that 90% or the 10% remaining, it puts you at 14 million. You can go into the season with that. So without having any penalties. So I think, like you said, the Pistons might be sitting on that bread or on that bread, on that cap space to kind of facilitate a move down the line when teams get desperate and want to make a move. That may be the opportunity to do that. So 100%, it's a smart move by Trajan if he's doing that, to kind of just have that available, because it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and have a great move on the table and now you ain't got the cap space. So yeah, 100% agree on that, bro. Yep.
Yeah, I always say at the beginning of the season, when you see rumors out there, those are just the beginning. You know what I'm saying? That deadline time comes, things get real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Things definitely they get real. So
absolutely. I mean, you got GM. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm done. Go ahead. I'm done.
I'm saying, like, you're right. Like, you got GMs who have pressure on them. When you got owners and presidents that hey, what we doing, man? We're underachieving right now. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
That can pressure a GM to make a move they don't want to make. But in order to keep their job and thinking about their job, and as far as instead of the long-term vision of a team, that's when you have a situation where you have guys and GMs who are waiting. Yeah, we'll help you out. Yeah, we'll help you keep your job. Yeah, let's pick this trade real quick. You know what I'm saying? Give me those three lottery picks, and I'll absorb this contract for you. His job is safe, but the long term vision for the team is fried because of the pressure that's put on these GMs, the deadline. So 100% agree. That's why they're doing it that way, and they're opportunists. They're just waiting and they're just surveying. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens at the deadline too.
Yeah. Like I said, it's, the more veterans for me, the merrier. My formula personally is a team with about 60 to 70% vets and then the young guys. Because once some of those vets go out and shed out, those young guys become the new vets. And then you're rotating. You see what I'm saying? So, I said, man, right now, for majority of who I want to see on the court is basically, obviously, our core. Sorry, K, Jalen Durant, Stu, if he's still around, those type of guys, and the rest vets.
Yeah, I like that too. It was cool to see. Watching Tobias and K interact, you can kind of tell they already K's probably in his ear, just asking them questions because this is going to be year 14 for Tobias. He's been in the league for a while now, so he's seen everything. He hasn't won a championship, but he's probably has a lot of experience, just with other players or the rosters that he can really share with Cade. So I know Cade, as the leader of this team, is trying to absorb as much information as he can from Tobias, and that's probably why we paid him $26 million a year. Just because of what he can bring off the court as opposed to just on the court. After them 2-year contracts are up, it's 100%. 100%. That's when you go all in. Go ahead.
Yep. No. He's on point. With that. That's why those contracts are short. You know what I'm saying? They understand how it goes. The crazy, they're continuing the original plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually what they're doing right now. They're continuing the original plan. The original plan fell short because of obvious reasons, right? But these were supposed to be the next stages we took 2 seasons ago.
Yep.
2 seasons ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Before devastating injury, before Tankathon, this is where we were headed. So we're continuing that stage, man. That's all it is.
Yeah. And when you look, right. I'm looking, like, now that you said that, I'm looking at contracts. I'm just thinking about how shrewd Trajan may actually be with what he's doing. We talked about who has which Piston player are people comparing Bobby Klintman to? Which Piston player that we just got are people saying he could be this guy? He could be this guy. Tobias Harris.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people are saying. They see a lot of he said that. So it's interesting to me that we signed Tobias for 2 years, and then we signed Klintman for 2 years. You see what I'm saying? What if Klintman ridiculously outplays his contract and is looking for a deal when his contract is up? Well, you got Tobias Harris, $26 million a year, just falls off. So it's like they're preparing for these, because you got to pay your young guys too. They don't stay on rookie contracts forever. We just saw with K, he just got the bag deservedly. But the point is that you got to pay them guys at some point in time. So it's like Trajan is understanding that he's trying to continue the process of getting young talent in here, get the vets in until they're ready. When the vets leave, now can pay these guys. It's like he's trying to time it right so he's not caught in a bad situation to where you got a ton of talent, but you can't pay these guys.
Well, the key piece, Deuce, is that Klintman's contract says everything in what they're thinking and what you're saying. Actually, it's a 4-year deal.
It's a 4-year deal. I said 2. My bad. It's 4 years. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's 4-year deal.
So it's a 4-year deal, and like I said, when you look at the timeline, everything is everything. Yeah, they believe in Klintman, man, and to be honest. There was projections that he wouldn't even make it to the second round.
I know.
So the Pistons probably feel if they really wanted him like that, they probably feel fortunate to get him.
Right.
Because he has some first round mocks, you know what I'm saying, before he got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've been 4 years.
Yeah. $42 million a year. They kind of played. They gave him 7.9. Y'all couldn't give him even $8 million. Why y'all do that to him?
Hey man,
but I did. Go ahead.
I mean, you know, it's a business.
Y'all can't give him that last 100,000. Come on, man, give it to him. Yeah, Clement can easily be a starter in 2 years. He can do everything on top. Yeah, that's why I like that Duran comp, because you really have yin and yang. Like when we talk about with Isaiah Stewart being that stretch four, Clement could be that. He could be that and more. I think he can offer even more offensively. He's not Stu defensively. But he probably won't ever be Stu defensively as far as physicality. And that's okay. But offensively, he fits more of the Lauri Markkanen type of player than the Isaiah Stewart type of player. You know what I mean? Somebody who's versatile offensively, who's a big four, stretch four, that can put the ball on the floor when needed and make passes, make plays. So 2 years from now, yeah, 100%. 100%. And he plays smart. He's everything I want, to be honest. I know he's only 19, but he's everything I want, bro. No. He's everything you want. Or is he older than that? Is he 20?
I think
I'm not sure how old he is.
20 or 21, I think. 20 or 21.
Okay. Yeah, however old he is. He plays the right way. I don't care if he's 22, 23. He plays the right way. And that's what I love to see. Clement's a first round talent, 100%.
Yeah, he's 21.
21, okay. 21. We got to steal, 100%. So I'm with you on this. I think that'll come with time, right? I think, we have a coaching staff that wants to teach.
He tries, though. He tries.
Absolutely. He gives effort.
That's a big step in the right direction. He tries.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he definitely, he's never lacking any effort. That's what I like to see too. He's a Pistons type of player, in my opinion. Yeah. And I think everybody here agrees. That he may be Stu's replacement as far as rotational player. Like I said, I can see Stu just being here. Like a Udonis Haslem type of guy, just being, not even if he's not playing, I could just kind of see his mentality just never leaving here and him being that kind of guy. But we'll see. Yeah, rise above. I'm with you on this too. During the Holland are extremely young. I hope our vets and staff get them right mentally. Yeah, I just want to see that jumper improve, man. Like this season, I just want to make sure that I want to see him do. I do want to see him doing the same thing every night as far as with his game. I want to see him just to find his role. Now go do that 82 games or however many games he plays this year. Just do that. Just get comfortable on the NBA level. We'll figure out the rest and build on that as we go. But give me a high motor. Give me the effort. Give me the defensive plays. Give me the easy buckets on offense. Give me that stuff. Getting to the rim, knocking down your free throws, that kind of stuff. And just go from there. I think if he does that this season, it's a win.
And I expect Duran as a player developing as early as this year to start showing us some form of a jump shot, whether it's a 15-footer or right in front of the rim fadeaway like we, seen him do in Team USA. Yeah. I think you're going to start seeing that from him because he actually used to do it in college. I don't know what happened, where it went, but with his development, within these very near years, I think he's going to develop that consistently. Mm-hmm. And that's going to expand his game even more.
Yeah, man. I'm trying. Come on, we try not to look back, Cardi. You bringing us down memory lane, but we trying to look forward, man. We trying to get this out of the rear view.
That's dead.
He's gone. But I agree, though. I'm just saying. Yeah, looking at what's going on now, you see a totally different just atmosphere completely. But anyway, yeah. As far as this, John, we're not digging too deep into this. Like I always say, how many summer league MVPs went on to be NBA regular season MVPs? It doesn't always translate like that. So we're just looking more so at the little things. We want to see what roles might be for guys based on what they're doing here, because it's not like they're just running, very designed offenses and things like that. No, this is more so just guys getting up and down the floor and trying to see what they can do for themselves a lot of time. So it's not even a structured game. So I'm just looking at individual guys and seeing what their abilities are and kind of going from there. Not how many points they score or any of that stuff.
Yeah, you singing to the choir, John. I don't know if you just got here or not, but we already established that a couple of times. I've established it in several videos already. Yeah. We remember the Henry Ellison days, just like everybody else.
Oh my gosh, bro.
So,
oh my Lord.
We know what to take with a grain of salt. But we established what the summer league is about.
Sads had 40 last year. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a knock on Sad because he's a bucket getter, but everybody was saying, oh, he's gonna be the next Tyrese Maxey next year. Like, come on, bro, let's chill, man. It don't work like that. So yeah. That's my take on summer league, bro. I'm looking forward to now at this point, training camp. I want to see these positional battles. I want to see who comes out, with rotations. Comes out of the rotation with roles. That's what I want to see now. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I kind of want to segue really quickly here to one more thing. Off topic. We haven't had a chance to talk about it. Team USA.
Yeah.
Team USA, man. Everybody in the chat. What are your thoughts on Team USA so far? I know everybody's comparing them to the teams of old. They're calling this team the Supreme Team, is what I'm hearing. Things like that. How would you rank this team? We'll start with that. How would you rank this team compared to 2018, 2012, 96, and of course the Dream Team?
Yeah, they're not even close still, to me.
They're not close. Okay.
The other day they was playing with their food. The other day, and it was pissed off. They missed entirely too many shots for me. Too many irresponsible shots chucked up to me. Listen, man, get it together. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if y'all winning the games or not, bro. They out there playing too goddamn much for me. Get it together, man. Because
I think they know. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Like, come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? And the other day, I go back and look at the score. I'm like, man, how did they even come back this close? You know, so what are y'all doing? Stop playing around with people. Go out there and play some ball, man. Y'all out there just throwing shots at the rim. Like, come on, man.
I agree, man. I don't think this is the best team ever. To be fair,
hell no.
I think to be fair, I think if the Dream Team, like in their primes at that age, just played now, they wouldn't be blowing teams out by 60 either, because the world has gotten better. But they wouldn't just play around, I don't think either. I think this team knows that they're better. And you see like Canada, everybody's talking Canada up, how good Canada is, how much of a threat. Man, Canada was no threat at all. I think after that, they're like, we're good. We're not going to lose. Nobody's going to beat us if we lock in. That's what it seems like to me.
So here's the difference from them versus the Dream Team, right? First of all, the Dream Team wasn't out there playing with nobody. That's the reason why they was blowing teams out like that.
Right.
And when you take a team from back then and move it to this era, you have to advance the skills with those players too. Because
that's true.
They, just like the skills have evolved, they would have evolved too.
Great point.
I still think they would have blown some dudes out the water because those dudes, they was strictly business, man.
But the thing is, bro, it's like the competition back in the day, bro, like in the Dream Team time, they were signing autographs, bro. They were taking pictures. They were scared of them. They were literally afraid.
But that's what this team should be.
No, I agree. But even if this team was that, we can't ignore the competition level has vastly improved. That was when it really became international. That was,
Tony Kukoc as the best international player. These teams that we talk about ain't even really that talented. It ain't like we talking about Spain or something right now. These teams
I agree, but I think even the teams now that you're saying are not talented are way better than those teams in '92 when they were just learning how to play basketball like that. Like it was teams in Nigeria
you got to tip the scale, Deuce, because even if them teams are like that back then, those teams will obviously be better in this era. You have to tip the scale evenly. You can't just take a whole team and put it in this era and say,
I see what you mean.
Evolving is evolving. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like I said, if we take some players, which is, man, I'm not trying to go here. When I take a player from the old era and bring them into this era, that's a shooting era. There's no way in my mind that anyone could tell me that player would not evolve into a player that shoots in this era. So that's why, when I go for era, you have to look at evolving.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
impossible to know at what level who would have evolved and who wouldn't have. At that point, it's just speculation, 100%. So yeah, but no, that's a good point because you got to consider both sides of it too. So, but in conclusion, I will say this: I don't think that they are the best team ever, but I think they will have the best narratives and the best story ever. Because even when you think about the Dream Team, it was okay. We're about to go over here and dominate. We showed, and we were just blowing everybody out. It wasn't even really a narrative because there was no climax to that story. Pause. It was like they blew everybody out. It didn't matter.
No, it was the ultimate narrative back then because guess what? Our number one rival back then, even though it was more so back then, Russia had kicked our ass. You know what I'm saying? They beat up. They beat up on our young guys, and then the world was laughing about it. Even the narrative back then was even more because we was like, okay, so y'all think it's a game? We gonna send the big dogs over here and whoop the shit out of everybody to let everybody know, hey, listen, we still the best in the entire world. Right now, ain't nobody questioning that.
Well, I think they are, and I think that's why you got Steph Curry going to his first ever Olympics. That's why you got LeBron going for the first time in 12 years. That's why you got KD go because because we just lost in FIBA. We the same way they lost back then. We just lost too. And everybody's like,
look who was playing.
Y'all gonna send y'all? I know, but that's kind of the point. Like they want to remind everybody, like, look, no, just in case y'all forgot, what happened in 2008 when we took our crown back was no fluke. We're still here. We're older now. That's why I feel like you had that narrative. Like the Avengers is back. And then you also have the Anthony Edwards narrative as far as him taking the baton on and becoming the guy. You heard what he said.
He just mocking the greatest. That's all.
No, he's doing the MJ. He's doing the MJ. Right. But then you also have the narrative. This is the first time we've seen LeBron and Steph play in the same team outside of an All-Star game.
Right.
Ever. You know what I'm saying? So like you watch them coming from where they came from as rivals, the way they really disliked each other, and now they like buddy. Like that's why I love this team because we're not going to see these guys again, bro. We're not going to see KD, LeBron.
When you see Bird, Magic, and Jordan do it, that's why it was so climatic.
Right.
Experiencing with Steph Curry right now.
Right. It's all there. So I think the narratives for this one is just going to be a little bit more interesting when we look back. It's a lot of the same things. Like when I see Anthony Edwards and LeBron, it reminds me that Magic Johnson and Jordan shot picture, the two of them. You know what I'm saying? It kind of gives me those same kind of vibes. So it's just cool to see history kind of repeating itself a little bit.
Yeah, it's dope. It really.
Do you have the Dream Team as the best team ever?
Ever.
You got them better than
they
08.
Could have been even better if they would have had a point guard named Isaiah Thomas. They would have been even better.
I know.
Even
it's still crazy to me that happened like that. But you know what's interesting? Real quick, talking about Jaylen because Jaylen Brown is a hot topic right now.
Yeah,
and we're learning about how important it is that the shoe deal you have plays a role in this too. Like for example, I think Nike has an affiliation with USA Basketball. So what I was reading is that if you got two guys who are evenly deserving and one is signed with Nike and one is signed with Adidas, the guy that's with Nike is probably gonna get the nod. And it's been that way for years, is what I'm hearing from a lot of people. So it just makes you wonder about nobody in particular, but just who in the past got snubbed because of the shoe deal that they had. It just makes you wonder.
No, Baron Davis wasn't about shoes. That was just hate. That was all.
That was just hate. No, you're right. That was something totally different.
Yeah, he was right. Krzyzewski was hating, man, because he didn't go to went to UCLA. So
yeah. You're right. I agree with that. And I'm just looking at like JB. There's no way he shouldn't be there, bro. It's just so many reasons. Like, why wouldn't you replace? Look at who you're replacing. You're replacing Kawhi Leonard. You're not replacing a guard. So you replace with what you need. You get that same guy. He's a very similar type of player as Kawhi Leonard. So to go and get Derek White, which is a fine player, But you got 3 guys on this roster, and none of them are the Finals MVP or Eastern Conference Finals MVP. That's crazy. And you're not going to need it. This isn't a make or break us if you're going to win the tournament or not. So at that point, you have to, why don't just give it to him out of respect? He's not going to hurt you. It's not going to make a difference if he's there or not. Give him the gold medal. Let him have it. That's why yes, both of them. Yeah. Both of them should be on Team USA. 100%.
It's the same scenario. It's
Isaiah and Dominique all over again.
Kyrie mentioned it. You know what I'm saying? Him and it was somebody else that mentioned Isaiah Thomas. They was feeling the same way, man. It's just like, bro, imagine Isaiah Thomas and Shaq on that dream team, dude.
Right. Like, I was thinking Dominique Wilkins as far as Jaylen Brown, but Shaq, yeah, even more so. Shaq? Man. Instead of Christian Laettner? Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. I'm so sick of this add a rookie thing to the roster. Yeah. I don't get that out of here, man. Like, what's the point? Even when Anthony Davis was there, he only had like 1 bucket. He wasn't even like, what's the point? Like, I want to see the best of the best on my team.
You want to add a young player? Add Cade. Let Cade play.
Right. Let Cade play. Exactly. And somebody said, do they think Cade will get the nod next time? I think he will. I think he will. A lot of it's going to be dependent on how I think the Pistons do as a team. We just talked about them. Yes, he already has history with the select team. Him and JD with the select team. This is JD's 2nd year, right, with the select team. So they're building that rapport. A lot of USA basketball is relationships, man. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is relationships and having a good relationship with the right people. Having a good relationship with Grant Hill, who's the director, right? That's the kind of stuff you know. When you don't, favorites can play. I'm not saying they should, but it is what it is. Everybody's human. So that's the kind of, and I think Cade has a good reputation, and he's a good example. Like, I think he represents the NBA the way the NBA wants to be represented. A classy guy, you know what I'm saying, that plays the game the right way, marketable. He's got all of those things.
Coachable.
And right. Coachable, a leader. So I think Grant Hill would mess with Cade heavy if he doesn't already, just for those reasons we mentioned. And the thing about it too is that helps him is that Grant Hill knows what it's like to play in the Pistons team where he's the only star.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he can relate to that. He can see the forest for the trees. He can see through the team lack of success and see how good Cade is. And I think that will help Cade when it comes to, the next Olympics in 4 years. Personally, that's just me. Yeah, man. So that's all we got for y'all, man. I just want to get into the Olympics a little bit with Team USA. You got them winning, obviously, right? You got Team USA winning, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they got Ant-Man on it, man.
Yeah, I do too. He's quickly showing that he's one of the best players in the world because he's doing it here. So yeah. All right, man. We can call it there, bro. This was got everything in I wanted to get in as far as Summer League and everything. So anything you wanted to finish out with?
I did want to bring up one more thing. Summer League is Summer League, right? My thing is going into training camp. The fan base engagement, I think, is something that I'm keeping an eye on, because the reason why I say that is because obviously we're creators, right? From a creator standpoint, a lot of buzzes came back for the Pistons. And I didn't think it would be to this extent, but when I've done a couple of videos so far and they've been hitting pretty well. I want to ask the comment section as far as engagement. Do you see yourself going to games this season? Are you fully back behind this team? Are you excited again? Where are you as a Pistons fan right now? I'm very interested to know that, man, because a lot of people, it's been Pistons talk again. We was dead, but Pistons talk has definitely been back, man. I've been hearing a lot of people with Pistons Talks. Where are you are you optimistic? Where are you? Are you still, I'm not messing with that team? Where are you as a fan right now? That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. I think that's a great question. We getting some optimism. I think me and you kind of talked about this before. Unfortunately, I think a lot of, because we know most fans are casual fans. They're not die-hard fans. So I think fair weather friends, right? And that's of course nobody here, right? Of course not. But I think unfortunately, as a whole, as far as what you're saying, I think the overall narrative or thought is going to be, yes, we're going to give it a shot. Just because they're going to see new faces.
Yeah.
From the players to the front office to the coaching, I think that alone is what's going to have people, oh, this is new. This is different. Oh, okay. Let me go take a look. I think if we didn't see any new changes, fans would think nothing has changed, even if it had internally. You know what I'm saying? So I think that alone, just the fact that there's a lot of newness, people are just curious, even if not optimistic, they're curious. Ooh, Rick, yeah, you a real one, bro. All right, man. Sheesh.
You talking about ups and downs for real?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Rick, what was your favorite Pistons regime? What was your favorite regime with the Pistons? You've seen all of them.
That's a good.
So you're going back to the 60s, 70s. So what favorite regime? It ain't got to be the championship teams. Just did you have a favorite team that you enjoyed to watch? Because I believe you've probably been a fan longer than anybody here on the stream.
Yeah, he's been around since the Pistons logo was old car parts. That's how long.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Maurice said he's been a fan. How long have you guys been fans? Drop it for me. Been a fan. Oh, so you were a fan since '89? Okay, so like, what do you mean by fan? Like, were you, for example, I was 3 years old in '89. So I don't call myself a fan until '90 when I was 4, because that's really when I like understood what was happening with basketball instead of just going like this. You know, I felt like I understood it a little bit better. So like, yeah. So I would say for me, it was like 89, 92. When would you say you were a fan, King? Like, when did you become a fan?
89, 90 season.
Yeah, same.
Sitting on my pop's lap, watching him yelling at the TV, had me screaming at the TV too. I remember that yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And from that moment on, I had a love for basketball. Like, I always wanted to watch basketball. It was 2 things with me. It was basketball, it was Pistons basketball, or 3 things. It was Lions football.
I was going to say, hold on, wait a minute.
and it was WWF wrestling back then on Saturdays. Those were the best times with my dad, man, right there.
Yeah, not WWE. Back when it was Federation.
World Wrestling Federation.
Federation. Yeah. Okay. The last championship. Okay. Since Grant Hill, 86. That's when I was born. Shoot.
That's when I was born.
88. Yeah, 88. Been a fan since Ben Wallace. 87. Oh, 87. So you came in on a heartbreaking year. You came in on Steel Bob Bird. Sheesh. That's tough. Game nights ain't up in the 9.
What year was the cheat? When did they cheat? What year was the cheat? The Kareem foul.
88. Fan foul? 88.
Yeah, that was 88.
That's we could have won 4, bro.
Yeah, we could.
87. That was the conference finals with the Steel by Bird. That's 87. That series was in the bag.
What?
And then 88.
What?
Oh yeah, WCW Nitro. Come on, Ryan. Nitro.
What?
Man, what? Oh, the Wolf. Yeah, the Wolf Pack, bro. Taking me back with that, bro. We might have to do a segment on that, low key. Low key, just a different day. Just a special segment on that. Yeah, man. But yeah, 2017. Rick responded. He said, "Hold on to your seats. I know you might get upset. Please don't get upset when I'm gonna." Okay, yeah, give me your answer. Let me know.
Come on with it,
Ryan. Yeah, let us know. Basketball cards. Did you have the Fleer Boys or the Upper Decks? I had the Upper Decks. Those are my favorite basketball cards.
I remember the first time.
Nice though.
I remember the first time I seen Isaiah Thomas. It was at the Silverdome.
Ooh, okay.
It was at the Silverdome.
Was it the game winner when he did the spin when he was doing that when he made that game? Okay.
It wasn't that game.
Okay. Fort Wayne. That's a throwback. Marvin is trolling, y'all. I don't think he's been around since that long. He didn't got KD confused. No, he ain't that old. No. So yeah, I think my favorite team was the 04 team. Just because I remember basketball. I understood basketball fully at that point in time. And it was my graduation year. It was our graduation year.
It was one of the heights of our life. It was 04. It was the graduation year. All type of stuff was going on in 04.
Man, what? At that point in time, that was the best time of my life.
It was. I say it all the time to people.
Man, graduating and then your team wins like 2 weeks later.
What? Listen, if y'all from the D and y'all from the West Side, y'all know how 7 Mile was when the Pistons won. It was iconic moments on 7 Mile. Unfortunately, when Icewood went down, 7 Mile was crazy. When Rosa Parks rolled up 7 Mile, 7 Mile was crazy.
True.
They had a barrier.
Yeah.
But when the Pistons won, my God. You talking about some memories.
Yeah, it felt like an alternate reality, bro. And then to do it against the Lakers again. You know what I'm saying? To do it against that team again. That was what made it great for me. So yeah, man. We all major Pistons fans here. I'm just looking forward to training camp, bro. I really think that this is going to be the season. I haven't said it before. I think this is going to be the season where we earn a lot of our respect back as a franchise. I don't think you're going to see all these teams using Detroit to describe terrible franchises. You know how when they do that, when they pick on teams that, at least you ain't the Pistons, at least you ain't the Wizards. Like, I don't think that's going to happen going forward after this season. I think we're going to demand some respect this season. Ain't going to win a ton of games, but I think the narrative is going to change about where we're going. I think that much for sure. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Last question. How do you think the city will react when we win again? It depends when it happens, I think.
Yeah.
I think it depends on when it happens.
When
and how it happens. Yeah. I think like if it happens sooner than later, I think it could be even more exciting because of how quickly it happened.
How quickly we flipped it, yeah.
How quickly we flipped it. You know what I'm saying? You don't see that every day.
The reason why
go ahead.
The reason why I say if it's recent, obviously because our fan bases are hungry right now. For instance, you see the turnout for the Detroit Lions right now.
Yeah.
This city, period, for all of our teams, this city is ready to celebrate somebody. So it's going to bring people out of everywhere,
Right.
And on top of that, when you look at the city and the progression from then to now, I think you're going to see a lot more of those people from Upper Michigan and everything else down here celebrating. I think that's what you've seen the result of with the Detroit Lions. You had so many people from Upper Michigan. I was coming from Mount Pleasant up there, and I stopped at a gas station. It was multiple fans headed down to Detroit just to go to the draft. So that's where the engagement is, and the city is is starting to get that drawback to come back down here and celebrate and do things. So I think it'll be a little bit better this.
Yeah. I agree. I know I said last question, but y'all asking some good. Y'all making some. Your comments is on point, man. Let me see. So real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Marvin, will our Pistons be better than the Rockets last season? The Rockets were play-in bound. They had a tough stretch late in the season. I think they lost a few straight, and that's when Golden State overtook that last spot. But they were pushing Golden State for that last spot, that play-in spot. So I don't know how many wins they had offhand, but they're probably about 38 to 40 wins. I think if we get there, that'll be a total win.
Man,
I think if we get there, that'll be a total win. And there's no reason why we can't, because we're doing a lot of the same things that they did as far as how they're structuring the roster with veterans.
All they did was added those veterans, man, and guys took off.
Right.
Simple and plain.
Simple and plain. That hard. Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely think, I don't know if we'll be play-in bound, but I think we can get close. I think 35 games puts us close. I said 35. I think that'll get us playoff bound or play-in bound.
The season before that, people were laughing at the Rockets. We were a lot of them laughing at the Rockets. So it can happen fast in this league. Mm-hmm.
I think what you should do, what Trajan probably did, was look at the teams who were at the bottom with us when we were all at the bottom, and then look at how they got to where they are now. The Rockets, the Thunder, the Kings, all those teams are way ahead of us. So I'm sure he probably was looking at what those teams actually were doing and why were we the only one that were still in the spot? And it looks like they're kind of putting that into practice. So, yeah, I think we'll get to 35 games, push for the play-in. That's a win.
Yeah.
Following season, I see us getting to the playoffs. So, we'll see. It's a long way off. We'll see. But I appreciate everybody coming through per usual and showing up and showing out. This is a good stream. Appreciate y'all, man. Anything else you want to end with, King?
No, that's it, man. Like I said, let's just enjoy the rest of this basketball while we can before we hit that dry spot until we go to training camp, man. And like I said, I'm just looking forward to watch more Clinton and Holland out there. Jenkins, young guys. I'm looking forward to seeing more and more from them as we go on into the season. Yep. So next game and last game is this coming Friday. Yeah. Against the Knicks. So that'll be an interesting one to check out. So we'll be here with y'all. Once that take place, anything else happen in between, one of us will get to y'all with the update. But like I said, appreciate y'all. And as always, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.